Show choirs are a way of life.
Never heard of show choir? Nope, nor had we until the gong-grabbing global hit Glee blasted its way onto our TV screens.
This is the end.
Show choir is the proper name for Glee Club, and in American high schools it is massive.
When I'm singing on stage, that's when I feel like, this is my moment.
Show choir is my life. What it means to me, it's just everything.
I just wish that I could have been a part of that when I was 15.
We high-kicked across America to meet the best show choirs in the States.
Come on and rock me on my tails.
And got exclusive backstage access to the country's biggest show choir sing-off.
You go to the competitions, it was cutthroat.
Most people are pretty much out for blood.
We sweat, we're out of breath, you know, like some girls like throw up after a performance.
Nice. So limber up, give great facial and brace yourself to lift the lid on the real show choirs of America. We all know what school is like in the UK.
Come on, guys.
Yay, that's right, they're the happiest days of your life.
They're terrible places. I mean, I went to school in South East London, and I was assaulted every day at school. You know, if it happened now, I'd press charges immediately, every time. But because it's school, it's just a given that it's going to be like the Wild West. It's a terrible place.
If you get like a crap haircut and you have a slightly naff bag, or like if your trousers were too high, that was always one. Like if your trousers got a bit small and it was showing your ankle, we called them jack-ups. Then you'd get roasted at school.
But in America, high school is a little bit different, a little bit more cheery, say. Yay, go Zach, yeah! Ah, you guys, but it's not just Zac Efron and the jocks and the nerds or the fact that they study math. There are severe musical differences between the UK and the US, you see, and it's all about choirs. Yes, choirs. If you were unlucky enough to be in a British school choir, it was probably something like this. Great. Or, if you were really unlucky, like this.
Grandma, we love you. Grandma, we do.
Choirs in British schools have this sort of grey vibe, I think. When I think of a choir, I think of moths in a dark cupboard eating away at a cloak that you're going to wear that's attached to some sort of ceremony that's 100 years old. Choir at my school was Thursday evenings, once a week, and it was pretty standard. We'd warm up, then we'd sing a hymn, and then we'd sing another hymn, and then after that I think we'd sing a hymn. Did we dance? No. Why would we dance for a choir?
There was never any motion other than your trachea in choir. You're not supposed to move. It's a choir.
But in America, it's a very different story. Over there, this is a school choir. Yes, a school choir.
I am so impressed by the show choirs in America. I just wish that I could have been a part of that when I was 15. I'm just jealous, to be honest. That's all I can say.
It looks like a Broadway show. It doesn't look like a school assembly show.
But why do we suddenly care about choirs anyway? Well, because of this lot.
Just a small town girl.
It's dancing, it's music, it's wit, it's crazy drama.
Oh my gosh, what a concept. It's a mini musical in an hour, and you get all your favorite pop songs sung by people that can really sing that should win American Idol, and bam, I love Glee!
The a cappella antics and jazz hands hijinks of the McKinley High School Glee Club have had us glued to the telly for ages.
It's ended up not only becoming a TV phenomenon, but a kind of general pop culture phenomenon. It's taking over the charts. People are starting up their own Glee clubs all over the place.
There's Glee parties. Pretty soon, they're gonna have like sing-along Glee. They should do sing-along Glee. They should do a sing-along Glee.
The success of Glee has made musicals hip, And in Hollywood, Broadway is the new black.
Lea Michele, Matthew Morrison, they're massive names in the Broadway community. Back in the day, these people had such a hard time getting hired on TV shows because musical theater people supposedly, as a generality, overact. Now with this show, Broadway stars have an open door. Did you study the form of musical theater? Do you know how to talk and then burst into song? And if so, you're Judi Dench.
Yes, Glee Mania has engulfed us all like a great big spangly tsunami. And most exciting of all, Glee has brought us this.
Come on and rock me, Amadeus.
The world of show choir. It's where starry-eyed American teens go to sing, dance, and just belt one out on stage.
Show choir is something that started in our lives as kids very early on. I think as soon as we're in first grade, we have music class that we go to, and around Christmas we always put on a show. And then when you get into high school, that's when it's really the show choir that we've all come to know and love, like Glee, where it's a lot of dancing, and it's a huge show, and it's musical theater at its best.
Our show choir was just called Show. It was really silly. It was called Show with Glee, but you have to do like jazz hands. Show. We would do things like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and the choreography would go like this. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue.
We had vocal jazz ensemble where the girls, even though we were Catholic school, wore like strapless black dresses, and you do like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And that was really cool if you're one of those.
Studying show choir in school has actually been a stepping stone to stardom for loads of celebs. Ashton Kutcher, Gossip Girl's Blake Lively, NSYNC's Lance Bass, and Pussycat Dog Kimberly Wyatt are all former show choir shufflers.
Show choir taught me so much about singing, working with others, being on stage as a singer, and I know that it's definitely played a part in my life as I have moved on.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
I would love to see a rendition of a Pussycat Dolls song in Glee. I want to see how they do it, and I bet they'd do it justice.
Now, until Glee, us Brits had never even heard of show choir, which is ironic as we actually started the whole thing with the invention of the world's first Glee club in London in 1787. It was all male and they sang short songs called glees. The trend reached America in 1858 when Harvard University started its Glee Club. It still exists today. Over the decades, Glee Clubs morphed into the show choirs of today. With over 900 across the United States, they are now a vital part of American high school life. Try this sort of thing in a British comprehensive and you'd probably get your head flushed down the bogs at break time. And you probably deserve it. But in America, show choir is a proper academic subject, just like geography and biology. Just think these kids get to graduate in jazz hands, show tunes, and razzle-dazzle.
This should not be part of the curriculum. I have a master's in going like this, and a PhD in going like this. What good is that going to do anyone, in all honesty?
They like the way we dance, they like the way we work.
I think the show choirs are getting cooler as we go, especially with Glee on TV. It just makes it cool.
Do you think I'm sexy?
I have to say I dated a few show choir guys in my day. I thought it was quite sexy.
Come on, baby, let me know.
But show choir's not just about singing, dancing, and fighting off the school bully. Oh no, it is about winning.
There is that winner's attitude when it comes to putting on a show and going to a competition as a show choir to be the very best that they can.
Standards at the competitions are super high. Choirs put on elaborate productions, kind of like mini Broadway musicals, complete with crazy costumes and difficult-to-do dance steps. And although they're just teenagers, they're often every bit as good as grown-up professional performers. Look.
These kids are like Madonna's backup dancers. It's unbelievable. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see the actual Glee choir of Glee go around and compete against real Glee choirs. I bet they could take Lea Michele. At the end of the day, these kids are triple threats, my friends.
After the break, we discover the East Coast comp that's a boot camp for Broadway. And learn how fame costs, and show choir is where you start paying for it, in sweat. Ah, Glee, the TV smash of the decade and everyone's favourite show. We have a lot to thank it for, resuscitating 80s hair ballads, creating new stars and new words like sectionals. But most exciting of all, it's exposed us Brits to the all-singing, all-dancing American high school phenomenon known as show choir. Today, we've come across the pond to meet a legendary group of singing school kids found in Rochester, New York. An unremarkable city, 250 miles north of Manhattan, Rochester's famed throughout America for the choir of Athena High School. A typical comprehensive with nearly 1,500 pupils, Athena High's motto is celebrate, lead, succeed. And when it comes to the school's award-winning show choir, never a truer word was spoken.
Soldiers holding the light for the ones that we guide from the dark of despair.
Mixing pop, opera, jazz, classical music and pure Broadway show tunes, the school's choir has racked up a great big stack of trophies, including 2 national championship titles. Hugely famous in America, the Athena High School Choir has performed at the Pentagon, Disneyland, the Vatican and the White House. Get them. They practice here in the school's brand new $15 million performing arts complex.
Get the crinkles out of your foreheads.
How are you today?
Keep going. Start switching registers.
How are you today?
Head of music Judith Ranaletta, affectionately known to her pupils just as Ran, has ruled the show choir roost here for 27 years.
I've said to them oftentimes, this is a huge commitment. So if we make the conscious choice to actually put something in our lives, why not give it 100%?
A former opera singer and musical theatre star, Ran teaches the students to belt out big Broadway tunes.
I think that there's a certain joy that you can only feel when everyone's together on stage, and I think that that's just so magical, and I think that that's when the audience feels it, and I think that's the best part.
When everything comes together on the stage, I feel like I would just want to cry because it's so beautiful when everyone's voices are just melting together and you just feel this whole emotion of whatever we're trying to portray. I love it.
Being in the Athena show choir isn't just a pastime, it's a privilege. Just like professional performers, these students have to undergo a rigorous auditioning process to get in. Only 1 in 10 has enough of the X Factor to make it through.
It is very competitive. It's comprised of a singing audition, a dance audition, and if they make it past the first audition, then I will give them sight reading examples. I will have them do some of the music that we're already doing, give them a more difficult dance routine to follow, and then start blending them with other members of the group.
When I first auditioned, I can't even believe how nervous I was. I just remember thinking, I don't sound like any of these people, and I don't think this is a good idea.
I can make an entire phrase out of one syllable.
But I did it, and I went along with it, and I made it, and I was so excited that I took a chance.
But getting in is just the beginning. Bad grades in other subjects could get you bumped out of choir.
We have academic requirements, so the kids sign a contract and they have to maintain a C average and not failing any subjects, otherwise they're on probation.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same.
As well as timetabled choir lessons, there are regular rehearsals after school and nighttime performances. And the demanding Ran doesn't do anything by half.
I'm a pain in the butt. I am a pain in the butt, but you know what? They respect that, and they oftentimes say thank you.
I think she's very inspirational, and she always strives for our best, and she doesn't let us settle for anything less. And that's something that I really appreciate.
Everyone deserves a chance to fly.
I love them. Never having had my own children, I love them as if they were my own children. Whether it's on the stage or off the stage, I don't want them ever to settle, because they can always be better.
Don't cry, Ran. If you go, I'll go. Whereas Glee portrays its show choir kids as losers at the bottom of the social pile, is the opposite at Athena High.
Here you have academic students, solely music students, athletic students, all coming together to perform, and it's not unpopular at all. It's actually, show choir is cool.
These poptastic pupils aren't freaks or geeks, they're local celebrities.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.
We have, when I say dozens, I mean literally dozens of alumni who are in New York, in Broadway shows. That's a lot for one school.
I can put a lot of my success now as a Broadway performer to my experience with show choir. A great deal of it.
Donnelly Champlin is Broadway's hottest star of the moment. She's wowed audiences in smash hit musicals Sweeney Todd and Billy Elliot. And she cut her showbiz gnashers in, you guessed it, Athena High's show choir. Here she is, strutting her stuff way back in 1987. You go, Donnelly Champlin, shake it!
The commitment to show choir was enormous. We would be up at the crack of Christ. I mean, what was it? We'd have rehearsal at 6 or something. And like half the time, like the school wouldn't be open. Like it was madness. Show choir for me was not only learning how to perform with other people and solos and a cappella singing. I mean, like it was just a grab bag of experience, performing experience. I knew how to audition for things because Judy makes you audition and she doesn't mess around. She makes you audition for the show choir. Auditioning is a daily occurrence for me. There's nothing about show choir that has not helped me in what I do now.
After the break, we're off to Hollywood to meet the most competitive choirs in the country.
Really, really, really competitive to the point where it makes me sick to my stomach.
It's a world where glitz, glamour, and the quest for glory reign supreme. It's gonna get ugly.
Sing with gusto!
Everybody comes to
Hollywood, California. Entertainment capital of the world. Thousands come here to find fame and fortune, but we've come here to find the showiest show choirs in America. They're gathering this weekend at the biggest show choir competition in the country, the Los Alamitos High School Extravaganza, where 51 show choirs will slug it out over 2 intense days of choreography, costumes, and choral madness. I can't wait! One of the competing schools is Hart High in Newhall, a small town 25 miles north of LA.
Who's your character? Who are you?
Today is the final dress rehearsal before the big showdown, and although Hart High School won their last competition, some of the kids feel there's still a lot to do.
We got first place, I think because we have a very strong show, but the energy was down for us. And personally, as performers, I think a lot of us felt let down by ourselves.
Like many Californian choirs, Hart just don't sing a random collection of tunes. Their 17-minute competition set is based on a single theatrical concept. Oh, it's terribly avant-garde, darling. You probably won't understand.
The concept is they are the puppets in Sound of Music, in Lonely Goatherd, and they don't want to be puppets anymore.
Sorry, they're what?
We are puppets, and we are being controlled by our puppet master, and we're cutting off the strings because this is not what we want to do anymore. We want to run our own show.
We have a distorted version of Lonely Goatherd, and we do Ramalama. They don't want to be puppets anymore. They sing a song, I'm Not Your Puppet. The guys come out! And then we close with another contemporary song called Awaken Alive, where they decide they're not going to be puppets anymore, I'm going to live my own life. So it's kind of interesting.
Yes, it is. Mrs. Hart employs not one, but two professional choreographers to put the pupils through their paces.
It is a massive workout. Just to prepare them for rehearsal, they run and they sing at the same time. Not many, you don't do that anywhere else.
We sweat, we're out of breath, some girls throw up after a performance, it's just all of our energy out,
Great job, that rehearsal performance was better than last competition's performance, so good job.
One of the huge things that we're judged on at the competitions is how everybody executes the moves at the exact same way, down to the fingertips, the exact same way. Even if all 37 people have it like this, and one person has their hand open, it'll stick out and we'll lose points for that.
Oh, talk about nitpicking, but it's not just finger movements that the pupils have to polish before the big sing-off. They have to work on their facials. Yes, facials.
A facial. It's basically just feeling the song and showing it through your face. If it's a happy song, you look happy. If it's a sad song, you look sad.
Oh, I love all your faces.
Well, a happy facial will be like, and a sad facial will be like.
Hart High School is competing in the smaller choir category as they have less than 40 members. And although they won their last contest, they've yet to beat their arch rivals, Arcadia High School.
I hear singing and there's no one there. I smell blossoms and the trees are bare.
Arcadia, 40 miles down the freeway, is a whole different ball game. Here, old school values win out over artsy-fartsy theatricality. At the helm is Vietnam vet Rolly Maxson, who has a take-no-prisoners approach to his job.
I'm probably fairly tough. I do not compliment them very much at all. I will say nice things about them to other people. I just don't very often say it to them personally. My experience is as soon as you start telling somebody that they are doing well, they won't try to do any better.
If he yells at us, we are actually, for the most part, motivated to prove him wrong. And we do. And even though he yells at us, we have to think about how all the years that he's been doing this, he knows what he's doing.
Mr. Maxson has no truck with concept shows. He sticks to what he knows: crowd-pleasing songs and simple choreography.
I'm very much a traditionalist. Most people think I still belong in the 70s or the 80s, but that's just the way I am.
We don't have the flashiest choreography, we don't have the flashiest sets or props, but we do what we do well and we do it right.
But don't be fooled by the old-fashioned vibe. The Arcadia kids practice for 18 hours a week and are tougher than they look.
People who think that it's easy, if they are good at singing a song, I challenge them to jog down one block and sing that song without making mistakes or having your voice jog. It's hard.
And when it comes to competition, they certainly don't lack that killer instinct.
Oh, I always want to beat everyone. That's just how it is. Mr. Maxson kind of gets that into us, and beating them is a great feeling. And getting that first place, running up there on stage, getting that big trophy, it's a great feeling. So I want to beat him badly.
Oh wow, that was amazing! What does Mr. Maxson think?
Good.
Meanwhile, a few miles away in the suburb of Burbank, the most showbiz of all show choirs, John Burroughs High School, is busy perfecting its set before the big competition. The standards here are the highest in the country, and the choir's reputation reaches far and wide. The makers of Glee even sought out its choir room to film the pilot episode of the show.
This room, it became Mr. Schuster's classroom. It was the Glee room. They made all sorts of alterations. They covered up all the trophies and they took down pictures and moved stuff around. When they rebuilt the room on a set somewhere, they certainly took elements of my classroom. And it's always fun to kind of watch the show and see things that remind me of our school.
John Burroughs is the show choir big time. It employs 5 professional choreographers and uses elaborate props and costumes. And that doesn't come cheap. Each pupil has to pay $3,000 every year in choir fees. But it is worth it. Their performances are every bit as glitzy as a Vegas show.
What makes us remarkable as a choir really are shows that have been designed by Jen Ungen, the artistic director of the program.
Sorry, Dan. You guys have to come in the order because I don't want to see Matt run into Connor. Yes?
She has taken show choir in a whole new direction.
Show choir used to be very like bow tie and sequin vest, or not even sequin vest. So it was like cummerbund, and it was a lot of like step touching and flash hands. And now it's gone into this really amazing, creative, like actually incorporate culture and arts and design as opposed to it just being like shiny. It's gotten a lot of depth over the years, and we have been doing like these really intricate, creative, beautiful art pieces as opposed to just doing a song and a song and a song.
People are always waiting to see what we're going to do, and we're always doing something surprising and shocking, and that's what people like.
With 50 members, John Burroughs is entered into the biggest choirs category. They're hoping to come up trumps with their new set, a complex concept based around Alice in Wonderland.
The idea for Alice in Wonderland was Jen's dream, a literal dream, like waking up from a dream and going, there's a show choir show there.
I guess we're supposed to be cards, and we're supposed to be like these evil creatures that are coming to get Alice, and so I just have like crazy faces all the time, and it's so fun.
I get to play the Queen of Hearts, which is a lot of fun, to have the crown and the throne, and it feels like such an honor to be able to like stand on stage and like hopefully help the choir with like my song. It's really fun.
They've got the sound, they've got the moves, they've got the obligatory artistic theme, but victory in the competition is far from certain. John Burroughs also has a rival, which is every bit as slick and every bit as deadly, the show choir of Burbank High School. So protective are they of their set, they wouldn't even let us into film. So, here's last year's entry.
It's not like we hate the people in Burbank, but it's just such a harsh competition. They're so good, but so are we.
It's really exciting to have 2 schools, and those are the only 2 comprehensive high schools in our town, and they're both at the top of this show choir world.
It's really, really, really competitive to the point where it makes me sick to my stomach. So every time it's awards, I have to go out to the foyer. I can't even watch.
Through that rivalry, we've pushed ourselves and they've pushed themselves to get better and better and better because we both want to win in the end.
After the break, blood, sweat and tears as our group sing their socks off in the clash of the show choir titans. But who's gonna win?
Love you, man.
Love you too, bro.
Just like regionals in Glee, finally, it's the day of the Los Alamitos extravaganza, and hundreds of hormonal teenagers are arriving, preparing to do battle in what looks like fancy dress.
I'm excited. I'm ready for the competition. Gonna put hair and makeup on. Gonna look really pretty.
Oh, they are very excited. Blimey, look at this. The girls from Hart High School are putting on their slap.
I can't wait. I've been waiting since last week to for tonight, so.
I think we're pretty confident, you know, we've got all the tools we need. We just have to remember to, you know, keep it together and remember all the changes we made, and it should be pretty good.
They're competing in the small choir category and are hoping that their avant-garde puppet without strings routine will impress the judges.
Sometimes concept has 0 points, so they may have a fabulous concept, or they may have a concept you don't understand at all and it makes no sense to you, but you cannot dock them points nor give them points.
This could be good news for Hart High's rivals Arcadia, who stick to ultra-traditional songs and routines.
We're judging this competition. 60% of the focus is on singing, and the emphasis is that they must sing well. And show choir should be about singing, and it's great to have all the extra glitz. It's very exciting to have cutting-edge things. It's great to have a story. Everybody does their own interpretation, but if they can't sing, they're certainly not going to win.
If they listen to how well the groups sing, they will do well. If they look for how flashy they are or how many costume changes they have, then that's our drawback.
It's nearly time for Hart High School's puppets to strut their stuff. Backstage in the warm-up room, they're going through their routine one last time.
Extremes and dynamics!
The pupils have heard a rumour about Arcadia, which has fueled their fighting spirit.
I heard that the Arcadia director said that they think they're going to beat us. That kind of gets me mad, so I want to beat them really bad.
Their director thinks that they're going to beat us, so we have to win.
Yeah! As they psych themselves up to perform, their puppet mistress lets us into a little secret.
I did, lie. I did lie. I said, Wally Maxon from Arcadia said that he didn't think you could beat them. So that got them. They're competitive. It's that competitive thing. He didn't say that. Oh, he would never say that. I would slap him. No, he would never say that. I lied to them. I'll tell them later. I will tell them later.
Directed by Gail Hart.
All the way from Hart High School.
Give it up for Sound Vibrations!
Each choir has to do an a cappella song as part of its set. It's a chance for Hart High to show the judges how well they can actually sing. And as the a cappella is Arcadia's trump card, it's crucial that they get it right. And Judge Sue has something to say about that. A quick costume change and it's time for the rabble-rousing finale.
It was so good.
It felt good.
No, it
audience feedback was good right when we got off stage, so I think that says a lot.
I feel so great. I think that was the best we've ever done it. That was so like intense and
Love you, man.
Love you too, bro. Yeah, like the energy up there was crazy. It was so good. Oh my goodness. Like I've never been that into it in like all the times we've ever ran it. It was amazing.
So the puppets went down a storm, but what's this? A group of mental patients is threatening to steal their thunder. It's actually the show choir of Serrano High School from the outskirts of LA, whose challenging lunatic asylum routine has stunned the crowd.
The funny part, but I think beautiful all the time. I'll be happy to see nice young men in their pretty white gowns and they're coming to take me away.
I'm a big fan of Serrano. They're usually like the kind of out there group. They do things that aren't really like traditional show choir. I think their set this year is really like, it's something that I would never think of. We've competed against them twice so far already, and we've still beaten them. So, like for us, I still feel confident that it's going to be a good night for us.
Now it's Arcadia's turn to shine.
You just like I should. Of course I have. Of course I have. Of course I.
Their clean-cut sound is a hit with the crowd, but can they rock? Oh yes, look, they can rock. It's like watching Black Sabbath.
I'm very satisfied with our show. I think we did really, really, really well. And we improved a lot from our first competition, and hopefully we win tonight.
I think we have enough to win, so what do you guys think?
I'll just say that I like surprises, and there were a couple surprises for me in some shows, and I like things that made me really feel something, and I also love the passion and energy. My favorite groups gave everything they had, and that spoke to me.
Finally, it's time to bring out the big guns, the competition for choirs with more than 40 members. First up, John Burroughs School with their Alice in Wonderland set. How many people are in this choir? Come on, get in.
We're in the warm-up room, and we just do a quick run-through of our show and like tweak anything that needs to be fixed. We each have individual hairstyle. I try to make myself look like a bunny, so because it's Alice in Wonderland.
Backstage, the choir have their own bonkers way of getting into the zone, which they call bubbles.
There's so much energy pointed right at you. I want you to imagine it all as like a sparkly ball of light and just scrunch it down into a little tiny, tiny ball, and you're just going to place it into your body. You are the most incredible, talented performers that I have ever seen. This group is, you guys are unbelievable. And everybody is just excited to witness your unbelievableness. So we're going to get our bubbles, as our tradition. Feel them bubbling in your toes, start with your toes, and then it works your way up into your legs, and oh my gosh, the energy is crazy. Oh my god, here it comes. Suck it in. Use it all. Suck it in.
Have a good show, you guys. I love you.
I want to win so bad. That's kind of like what they're all looking for in us. Like they all expect us to just want to beat them, but I just want to get first and prove to everyone that this group is really good.
The choir's stoked, the crowd psyched. What are they gonna see?
Worn out faces.
The opening number has stunned the audience. How will they top that? Oh, with a bit of Gnarls Barkley, of course.
It was exhilarating, like the whole performance. Afterwards, like I knew I'd messed up a couple things, but I really brought it today. Everybody brought it. Yeah! I hope the judges see that we did our best and they give us, first place. That'd be great.
Last to perform is the mysterious Burbank High School, who kept their routine under wraps until the very last minute. After 2 days, 51 choirs, and more than 300 songs, it's finally time for the moment of truth, the grand prize-giving ceremony.
So did you guys have a great competition time today?
First, who will win the best small choir of the night?
Third place goes to Arcadia.
It's not Arcadia. Ooh. Could it be Heart Highs, puppets who don't want to be puppets anymore?
Second place. Second place goes to Heart Sound Vibrations.
No, it's not the puppets. Heart are taking home the silver. This could only mean one thing.
And first place in the Advanced Mixed AA Division goes to Serrano.
Those mental musos from Serrano High School have taken first place. Who'd have thunk it?
I think my kids were great. I think Serrano's bizarre.
Well, we liked it. It's time for the big one, the last award of the night, the prize for the best big choir. The whole crowd is waiting to find out whether John Burroughs has trounced Burbank.
All right, once again, a very close competition. You all had a good time this weekend. All right, here we go. I promise. Okay, the grand champion for the 2010 Los Alamitos Extravaganza goes to Burbank.
No, dear, Burroughs came in second. Better than nothing, though, I suppose. No?
We did our best. You want to win, so, we won't be satisfied with that, but I'm happy. The kids did great. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's a rivalry, We won last time, they won this time. Who knows what's going to happen next time?
Ah, yes, next time. As every Glee viewer knows, one sing-off is never enough.
I thought we did pretty well.
Yeah. It was my personal best performance so far, and it gives us a, incentive to work harder.
And it takes more than a second-place trophy to break the show choir spirit.
Positivity. Bye.
Now, anyone fancy a facial?